So hi, welcome back to the Good Noise Podcast. My name is Glory, and today I'm here with...
Tyler from Excide.
And today we are going to be chatting about their upcoming album, Bastard Hymns. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
I feel pretty good. It's been cool. Yeah, lots of cool I don't know, comparisons and stuff like that.
Oh shit,
So
yeah.
yeah.
What kind of comparisons have you gotten from the record?
Um well, the one that caught me that I didn't even think about until now, like yesterday was someone on YouTube said it reminded them of this band Blindside.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had never really considered that before, but I definitely hear it like and it's funny. But yeah, and then obviously like some of the more like dialed in influences we had, like, some cast iron hike influences
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, and the typical, like, I don't know, Snapcase, stuff like that, which
Yeah.
is a given.
I was gonna say built in. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, obviously, I listened to the record before the interview. I just want to say this shit is crazy. You guys crushed it. Absolutely insane. I'm very excited to chat about the record today.
Thank you. Me too. I've been so excited just to, I don't know, talk about it.
Exactly, exactly. Hell yeah. So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, so the title kind of just came to me. I was writing a lot just from a place of, I don't know, my like younger self, and just my experience with like growing up where I'm from and stuff, which is just like a small town out in like the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, without being like too like, oh, I have dad issues or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
it was like a lot to do with just like having like a lack of like a father figure growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of just like having conflicting things there. So it's really just kind of, the title comes from my worldview of growing up, and
Mm-hmm.
just, the hymns part kind of comes from just like growing up in the Bible Belt,
Mm-hmm.
and like around Baptist churches and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. It just kind of came to me one day, and I thought it sounded cool for a title. And then the art was such a cool process because it's very interpretive of the actual artist's, like, I guess, vision of it. I basically just I found an artist that I really like. He's based in Europe. His name's Nicky,
Mm-hmm.
and he is just an amazing expressionist style artist. I love everything he does. And I essentially just asked him if he would be down. He said yes, and then I sent him the album, and I told him, whatever this makes you feel,
Oh hell yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
like whatever this brings to your mind,
Mm-hmm.
you just go crazy with it. And so the artwork is completely just like his interpretation of my lyrics and image and all of that stuff. So yeah, really excited with that, just because it's nice to have the thing that's like representing the record
Mm-hmm.
be someone else's kind of like spin on it, I guess.
Exactly. I love when bands and artists kind of let the artist and the creator of the cover art kind of just do whatever, their own interpretation of what they visualize when they hear the music. That shit, it's so pure and it's
Yeah.
so raw. I love it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's what we were going for. He's also just a musician and comes from kind of the same ethos,
Yeah.
So it was really easy just to kind of like be in the same space and let him create.
Exactly. He got it. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he nailed it. He nailed
Yeah,
it.
damn straight. And are you able to tell me a little bit about your writing process for this record?
Yeah, so I mean, it was broken up over just a few years. I think we started writing the first demos for this in like 2023.
Hmm. Dope.
Um, and we even wrote songs that came out since then, and there's demos older that are now on the record. Essentially, like, this record has existed longer than even some of the previous singles we've put out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. We've just kind of been slowly building it over time, and that's come in many different forms. Like, some of it us in the same room, some of it just me, some of it just the guitar players like
Mm-hmm.
really like piecemeal, just kind of finding our way with it. And we ended up with like a ton of half demos
Mm-hmm.
and just um, skeletons, I guess. And we ended up really putting it all together once we got into pre-pro, and that was like where the whole vision started coming together. When we started doing pre-pro with our friend Austin Coop earlier this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, damn. So it was it's just a collection of kind of demos and half tracks that you guys have been working on for the past 3 years that are
Yeah, yeah.
finally like that only came to the I guess fruition of an album recently.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
It really didn't start to take real shape
Mm-hmm.
until and I mean, we kind of did that intentionally,
Okay.
because we wanted to have, like a, some kind of like external input, like what with like a producer or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, when, you know, we decided we liked, what our friend Austin Coop does. And yeah, that was like, we met up with him, and that's when it really became what it is.
Okay, so I'm curious on if over the 3 years it was the idea and it was intentional to come out with an album, or was it just let's just write tracks and kind of see where we go.
I think we were loosely planning
Mm-hmm.
for it to be a record. Um, but there was just there was all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, everybody is into different things.
Mm-hmm.
And like, plays in different bands and stuff like that as well. And so it was loosely we were like, yes, a record for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then there was like, I mean, we got on with like Shark Tone and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it was just there's some logistics to figure out and everything. So and we kind of like not really like put it on the back burner, but like we paused a sec to write those the two songs that came out before the record,
Mm-hmm.
um on this release. Like Humdinger is literally just two tracks, but we paused for a sec to write those songs
Mm-hmm.
and put that out, and then kind of came back to it.
Gotcha. And then I'm curious on when the album title kind of came into the process. Did you guys start off the writing, the 3 years of writing, with the title and say this is kind of what we're going to base it around, or did it come out towards the end? At what point in the process did it kind of pop up?
It was definitely towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to do this thing where I get really lost in the sauce with like my own ideas and stuff, and
Yeah.
like I kind of, I don't know, get so like I end up with these like weird blind spots of not knowing where to go or what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um and usually what I'll do is I have a best friend. We've been best friends since like, I don't know, like middle school.
Yeah.
And I'll just text him and just be like, hey man, I have way too many ideas and I need someone to like center me,
Yeah. Sift through it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, there
Yeah.
were like so many nights where I would be like losing my mind with like ideas of concept and ideas of like song lyrics or
Mm-hmm.
titles or whatever, and I would just call him and just be like, I need your help. And so
Yeah.
he was actually the one that kind of like towards the end, I want to say like maybe a couple months before pre-pro happened,
Mm-hmm.
um one night I called him and I was just like, I have all these, you know, different ideas, but I have no idea what to like call the record.
Yeah.
And he just sent me a bunch of, he listened to everything that I had and then just
Hell
sent
yeah.
me like a list of stuff. And I didn't go with like necessarily anything that he sent me, but what he did send me
Mm-hmm.
ended up making me think of the title of the record. So
Yeah.
in a way, he like, he just helped me get to that like, center point.
Exactly. Hell yeah. It gave you some ideas to bounce off of, and you reflected off that and got your own thing. That's dope. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,. I just like, my best friend, he's just one of those people that's like, I love how creative of a mind he has. So I just,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You would always count that he's gonna come up with some fire shit, just regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just something like crazy and original too, because like he
Mhm.
has no real like bias to what we kind of do or like
Mhm.
the world that we exist in. He's just
Unfiltered.
not, yeah, exactly. He's not super tapped into like heavy music like
Mhm.
that. So like it's just an interesting like I always get an interesting like side of it, I guess.
Exactly. Hell yeah. All right. And what song off the album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Mm. Whew, longest to write. Ah, I'm not sure because like man, we really sped through it once we got to pre-pro, like not even like intentionally, just kind of like we were having so much fun and it felt like everything was just like flying.
That's good. It wasn't
Yeah.
dragging. There wasn't, it wasn't ripping your hair out.
Yeah, no, we literally we were having a blast. Um man, I don't honestly, it's kind of hard. Honestly, okay, yeah. I do have an answer.
Oh.
Uh, I think
Mhm.
technically, the song that took the longest to write was the one that we have the feature on Down in the Mouth. It's
Mhm.
got Tom Sheehan from Indecision on it.
Mhm.
Um, that song technically existed the longest, and it was so unfinished for so long,
Mhm.
and I was so conflicted with it because it was like the first song that we had ever tried to do like a D beat in or whatever,
Mhm.
and like that was that was just like I don't know, a whole thing. I was so conflicted about the track
Yeah.
and everything. So yeah, it definitely took the longest just because we made like about 10 different revisions of it before we locked something in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that one took the longest in it. But my favorite track is Callbox for sure. Callbox was like the first track that we wrote where we were like, this is the vibe for the record.
Yeah.
And then we kind of worked backwards from there.
Hell yeah, that's dope. It's funny that you say that Down in the Mouth took the longest because that was my personal favorite. So when you said that shit, I was like, no way. That's because it's so complete to me that
Yeah.
it sounds just start to finish. I was like, oh, this one probably came, fucking 2 seconds to write. No, three
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah,
that one existed. That's the oldest song on the record as
yeah.
far as like when we start. I think it was the first thing I wrote after the first LP came out. So,
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. All right. And would you be able to tell me where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
um it's hard these days to, well, I say it's hard these days. Not so much now.
Mm-hmm.
Going back like a year ago, it was kind of hard to find a place of inspiration for me because I have just a lot of good things going on right now,
Yeah.
and that's not something that like has ever really aided in like my
I was
songwriting
gonna say,
or just like if you're writing for like a hardcore band in
mm-hmm.
general, that just almost never helps.
Mm-mm.
You got to have something to be like angry
Oh,
about or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like getting married like a year ago.
Yeah.
I was just there was just so many good things happening,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like so hard to really like find a place that I
Mm-hmm.
could pull meaningful lyrics out of that
Yeah.
weren't just like I love everything and
Life
it's
is so
awesome.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like cool. Like we definitely have our share of like positive
Hell
songs,
yeah.
especially in the older discography.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of just had to like go literally just go back like
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I mean the record really comes from a place of like childhood
Yeah.
and where I grew up and stuff like that. So I just kind of I was like, all right, where do I pull some anger from
Mm-hmm.
or whatever? And that's really what it was. It's just like kind of just mentally transporting back
Mm-hmm.
and digging up some old unlearned and like just kind of not buried per se, but like almost like feelings and stuff that I haven't really felt in like a long time.
Yeah.
So that was really, it was the headspace was I'm in a good place, but let me try to get to a bad place real
Yeah.
fast. Like
Exactly. Yeah. Jesus. Okay.
yeah, and I know that's like but it sometimes, inspiration is just not so clear cut. So
Exactly. So I'm curious on when you would leave the studio and or when you're done writing, how were you able to kind of pull yourself out of that bad headspace considering everything else around you and your actual mental health, your mental space was good at the time?
yeah, I mean, it's honestly in my specific situation,
Mhm.
like it's not super hard just because uh my wife is a she works in the psychology field. She's got a master's degree
Mhm.
and she's like a therapist. She's also like a professor. So she's just so knowledgeable about
Mhm.
like how to like take care of your brain
Hell yeah.
and just she's the reason honestly that like I was ever able to get to where I am mentally just because uh you know I I'd never thought about like seeing like a psychiatrist before
Mhm.
or any kind of like therapy even minimally, and that was something that like she made me take very serious in my
Yeah.
early 20s.
Mhm.
Uh and you know, it's now I'm at a place where we did the record downstairs in my house
Mhm.
basically because I have like a studio that I've built down here.
Damn straight.
uh yeah, so we had the record down here, and essentially all for me it was just going back upstairs.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
going back upstairs, it's like, oh, here's my nice life again. Like here it
Yeah.
all is,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I go downstairs and get in my cloud and just be all
Angst
brooding
and
and
brooding,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, and then upstairs it's like, ah, dinner's ready, and like there's
Life is
something.
good.
Yeah, yeah. There's like something funny on the TV. My animals are here.
Mhm.
Like it's awesome.
Okay, good. I'm glad it was easy as that, and it wasn't anything you had to kind of really drag yourself out of. It was almost just like the flip of a switch, just going back upstairs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it was no real like nothing crazy like any kind of like method acting or
Yeah.
nothing like that intense.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I was lucky.
that's good to hear. Hell yeah. And how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, dark with headphones on? Should they work out to it? What do you personally recommend?
Oh man, yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, I haven't really thought about that before, but I a thing that I kind of have been not really like encouraging people to do, but something that I've found helpful for me and that I would encourage people to do
Mm-hmm.
is I don't know, like when's the last time that you just like, no strings attached, no anything else going on, just sat down and like listened to a record front to back,
Yeah.
Like I every now and then kind of just have to take a step back from all of the noise and stuff, and instead of just like putting on something, because I mean we go to the gym, we there's you put it on when you like clean the house,
Mm-hmm.
you put music on while you drive, like whatever it is, like I know a lot of people just use music as like a background thing, but I'm
Yeah.
like, you know if I could encourage people to just like, I don't know, maybe sit with it,
Mm-hmm.
just you know, if it's headphones, if it's over a speaker, it doesn't really, however you want to enjoy it, but like, yeah, just not in a like super like touch grass way, but like maybe take a sec from
Yeah.
everything,
Breathe. Yeah.
yeah, and maybe just, I don't know, see how much you can get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it's got a lot. to give,
Mm-hmm.
and we put a lot of ourselves into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I think, you know, without trying to ask too much of people, you know, it's
Yeah.
like I would encourage just like, you know, go on a walk and listen to it,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, something like that, you
Yeah.
know, like
Really give it the time. It deserves it. Yeah.
hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's like the best, you know, but like, yeah, I mean, I would love
But you
for
can
someone
be,
to,
you know?
yeah,
Gas
I
it.
just
Come
like,
on. Come
I
on.
would love for someone to like actually listen and like pick it apart and
Mm-hmm.
like tell me everything they like about it. Like I
Yeah.
love that,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely, damn straight. And this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
I want to say angry,
Mm-hmm.
fuzzy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I don't know, like I guess kind of kind of artsy, I guess. I don't know, like
Yeah.
in a way. Like I like the thought of a record being artsy.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm fucking with it. And in the same vein as the last question, but not as much pressure, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want this album to evoke in your listeners? And you could use more than one word for this. Go crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sick. Yeah, I want, honestly, more than anything, I want it to um invoke some kind of inspiration or ambition. You know, I want it to like spark creativity in people,
Mm-hmm.
more than anything, and just kind of like whether that's like in your day to day, just like what you listen to, you know, stepping outside the box, and you know, if you really like an artist, go and figure out like who's your favorite band's favorite band, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
and you know, just like digging deeper into what you like, and finding where it all comes from, and just I don't know, trying something new, you know, that's really what I want um to invoke in people, because like that's the way that we went about making it, is
Mm-hmm.
just, you know, if we had an influence, it wasn't like we just directly went to said influence and we were like cherry picking parts from
Mm-hmm.
that and putting it into our stuff. It was more like, okay, well, what do we like about this band?
Mm-hmm.
What makes them tick? What put them in that headspace? And like, who were they listening to as
Yeah.
well? And yeah, I mean, just get dig deeper, reach farther,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just try new stuff.
Hell yeah. I'm really curious on going into kind of like creating the soundscape for this record. Who were the bands and artists that you guys were kind of digging past the surface to kind of draw out in this record?
Yeah, I mean, so I essentially had this big like Venn diagram in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and I think like we really started to talk about mixing these elements like I don't know, maybe like 2 years or so ago,
Mm-hmm.
where you know we love the bands that we started with, you know, and like the bands that we kind of were like influenced from at the start, you know, Snapcase, Quicksand, Refused, all of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of realm. But then like me and especially me and Gil, the guitar player, were like super into like Queens of the Stone Age.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you like get really into Queens of the Stone Age, if you dig deep enough, you get into like Caius
Mm-hmm.
and like all the like kind of offshoot bands that those guys had.
Mm-hmm.
They had a few of just like, and they were all like in this like doom realm
Mm-hmm.
of like, you know, fuzzy just rocky stuff. And they were all great, like they were all awesome. But yeah, like especially like namely Caius, you know, you go back and you find some of that stuff, and so we fell in love with Queens of the Stone Age and then Caius, and then um rhythmically we really wanted to like inject, you know, like this like cast iron hike type like hook thing, but then we wanted like melodies like failure and like Caden's antenna and just like, so there we had this huge like spectrum
Yeah.
that we were working with where it was just like it's kind of everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Um and we obviously still wanted to keep our roots too,
Of
so
course.
it was really just like trying to build this like weird Venn diagram and just like figure out what's lining up in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
like what's kind of landing in the middle. And then you find like in there like there's bands like Melvins and stuff like that where they kind of like have a bit of all of it, you know and so I don't know, like that's how we go about finding our way, I guess. And then we just try to be like a greater sum of all of those parts
Yeah.
and like try not to be too transparent about where we get every single thing from,
Mm-hmm.
more so try to blend it if we can.
Exactly. Hell yeah. I love that you guys kind of went down the rabbit hole while also just making your own sound and not ripping anything. It was just kind of like, I like this, but let's make it our own type shit. I That's so dope. That's so dope.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that inspiration is great as long as it's not like,
Yeah,
like
like a 1-to-1. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. And are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
Yeah, so I think one of the craziest things about the record, so as I mentioned before, we ended up recording it here in my
Mm-hmm.
studio. But that wasn't the original plan. The original plan was that we started pre-pro virtually
Okay.
uh with Austin, and then he's based in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So we had actually set up time to go up there. We had like a drum room rented, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we were gonna fly after like 2 weeks of pre-pro. We were gonna fly to LA, finish pre-pro, and then record the album out there. Well, what ended up happening is like in the process of us virtually writing and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
um, the wildfires in California got crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was looking like Austin was gonna have to evacuate.
Damn.
And so like for I don't know, like 3 days straight, we kind of sat on pins and needles, just kind of like wondering what was going to happen. And we were all anxious because everyone was flying out of California and we
Mm-hmm.
were gearing up to fly
In.
into
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
So, um, one morning, we went and got breakfast before we started our day, and we were all sitting there, and I was like, everybody's freaking out. They're trying to figure out a plan, and I jokingly was just like, I mean, we could just take what's left of our budget, and we could just fly Austin to us, and then we have a whole studio that we can use
Yeah.
at that point, and
Mm-hmm.
like he's safe because he doesn't have to worry about being like trapped in a
Right.
fire.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he could just evacuate to
Mm-hmm.
us. And I said it like half serious, and there was like a beat after I said it where everyone at the table was kind of just like, I mean, yeah,
Shit. Yeah.
like, yeah, that would work. And so
Yeah.
we got on, we were doing it over Discord. We got
Mm.
on Discord
Hell
for
yeah.
the day,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking to Coop, and we were trying to focus, but we were all like really out of it, just
Mm-hmm.
knowing the situation, especially him. And uh, we mentioned the idea to him, and he was like, that would work. And we kind of pushed past it and tried to keep writing. And then at some point, while we're on the meeting
Mm-hmm.
with him or whatever, his roommate rushes in and is just like, hey, man, like, we got to go.
Oh
Like,
shit.
he's like, it's time. Like, we got
Mm-hmm.
to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, within the next
Mm-hmm.
hour and a half, we he hitched a ride to the airport, and we booked his flight out here with no return flight because we had no idea when he was going to be able to go home.
Right.
And then yeah, we just kind of we hung out at my house for like a month and some change,
Holy shit,
and,
yeah.
and just worked on the record. So
That is that worked out for fucking everyone. That's perfect.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah, it was such a crazy like thing, and we ended up with more time than we thought we were gonna have.
Mhm.
So as a result, so we ended up writing m more music
Mhm.
than we were originally like projecting, just because we were
Yeah.
just hanging out, writing music. So, yeah, it ended up working out, and in the end, like Austin was able to fly back home,
Mhm.
and all of his house was still there, all of his
Good.
gear and stuff
Good.
was still there.
Mhm.
So, studio completely intact, all that stuff. So,
That's what I like to hear. Good. All right.
yeah.
And for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Ooh.
Mhm.
Mm. So these days I have to be more careful about it because I can't just eat whatever I want anymore. Uh,
Damn.
like
Damn.
10 years ago, I could go and just buy a whole like bag of like fudge stripes,
Oh, yeah.
and then just eat the whole thing
Exactly.
and never gain a pound.
Yeah,
And
wouldn't
now
hit you. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Metabolism has slowed down since then, so can't really do that anymore. But um, these days, honestly, our go-to, and I think it's more than just me that does this, but like, my go-to is usually the little like deli like packs of they're almost like adult Lunchables,
Mhm. Oh.
where they
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
just on tour, like not when I'm like on my own. Like if I'm on my own, I'm gonna go in and get like Twizzlers or something. But like
Of course.
if I'm on tour,
Yeah.
I will go and get the little like adult Lunchable
Mhm.
with like the crackers and the like
The salami. Mhm.
salami. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'll get one of those. And honestly, like they don't pair super well, but in terms of like what you're getting out of them,
Mhm.
those things have advertised that they come with a certain amount of like protein or
Yep.
whatever, and they're kind of balanced.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll get like fruit with them and stuff too, and then I'll get a core power, is usually the go-to. I feel like all of the dudes in any of my bands, like that's the tour thing, is just like you go in and you get that 42-gram protein shake,
Mhm. Yeah. Just get out of the
and
way. Yeah.
yeah, and you're set. So,
Mhm. Hell yeah. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
ooh,
Mhm.
man. Yeah, these are such like just like questions I've never had to think about before. This is awesome.
Hell yeah. Hell
Uh,
yeah. Got a couple more for you.
okay, sick, sick.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, what would the band be? We would be something crazy, I feel like. I feel like uh I always find it like crazy when someone, for example, gets like in like an ice cream shop if they get like a chocolate ice cream with like and I think there's a name for this and stuff, but like the chocolate ice cream with like the fruity like gummies on top and
Oh,
stuff like that.
yeah.
And I'm just like I always
What
feel
the
like that's
fuck?
weird.
Yeah, no, it's I
Yeah,
side eye him, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I feel like that's kind of
fuck.
weird, but that's kind of where we're at. I feel like
Mhm.
it's just like just a little bit of a strange pairing,
Yeah.
of just all kinds of stuff, man. We just, especially now, like as we've all grown and gotten into different things, I just feel like we all mesh really well, but like we're
Mhm.
all such like different people,
Yeah.
and it I think comes out in the music as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think we would be something like that, like something strange, like a chocolate sundae with gummy worms on it, and like I don't know, like
Yeah.
like
Hell yeah.
things that don't graham cracker, bits, and just stuff that doesn't go together.
Exactly, but then you try and you're like, wait a minute, this kind of fucks. I think it's like, what is it, like
Yeah,
worms and dirt or something? It's,
yeah,
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 something
yeah,
like that. Yeah, no, that it fucks. But every time I see
yeah,
someone get it, I'm like, why would you get? And then I get it myself, and I'm like, okay, I've been missing out. This shit's a little
Yeah,
goes a little dummy. It's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think it's like an unexpected, like, okay, this kind of works. I see it, you know?
exactly. Yeah, gotta trust the process. Hell yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and for the last couple questions, we're actually gonna shift away from music if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So we're actually gonna go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Oh man. Dude, I've been thinking about this lately because I love that last meal series
Oh,
that Mythical Kitchen does on
I
YouTube.
love them. Yeah.
God. And I've been slowly adding to my list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's not finished yet. But I know a couple things for certain. One is recently we my other band toured in the like Europe, UK,
Mm-hmm.
and the last day of tour, our friend who was driving us took us to like a pub,
Yeah.
uh, and he was like, "You gotta," and we're in like God, Sheffield, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're in Sheffield, and he's like, "You gotta just have a good old like pub pie," and I was like, "All right, cool," and so went in and. This is the first time I'd ever had anything like this, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just literally a pub. There's like nothing really to write home about, but
Mm-hmm.
uh I got some meat, cheese, potato,
Oh, classic.
pub pie,
Yeah.
and it came with the chips, fries and
Right.
and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
and the peas and stuff,
Uh huh.
And man, that was just something, especially after just kind of eating whatever on the
Mm-hmm.
road and
It was the
and
first
stuff for like
meal. Yeah.
yeah, it was just like really like the first just wholesome like filling meal like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one is like top of the list for me, like definitely going on my like death row meals.
Yeah.
Um, and wait, what was the other part of it? You
Your
said
drink.
drink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Uh, like coffee would definitely be in there somewhere.
All right. Yeah.
Um, I know that some fancier restaurants will do this thing where if you go and you get dinner, they will like serve you coffee afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
just as like a almost like I don't know, like a digestion thing or
I
something
think
like
so.
because
Yeah. Some
it
shit.
like help. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it would definitely be like some kind of fancy coffee, and I'd probably do like a little bit of like I don't know. I do like a boba tea too, probably like a coffee, a boba tea, and some water to balance it all out.
Hell
I can
yeah.
never just go one beverage,
Nah, you gotta go three. Three is the magic number for drinks. Hell yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely.
And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Um, hmm. One fictional world. See, all the fictional worlds that I like are dangerous.
Yes.
Like they come with like having to like fight for your life and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Just active wars, and you're in the middle of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like, I am obsessed with like uh Baldur's Gate and just kind of like D&D stuff in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely I think I would like to be like in that world for real,
Yeah.
Like I'd love to just I don't know, be badass at something
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like whether it's magic or swords or archery or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think, um being in the like Baldur's Gate world, maybe not like one of the like heroes, maybe
Yeah.
not somebody who's actively trying to like risk their life and save the world, but
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe just like
Like a chill
a
dude.
casual, yeah, a casual like wizard or something.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
would be, I sell trinkets on the side kind
Exactly.
of kind of deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be sick.
That would be casual wizard, just kind of living life. Yeah, none too
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, I sell wares and I cast the occasional spell.
Exactly. You dabble, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I
That's it.
don't have to like try to fight a god or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
no,
I'm
no.
just
Leave that to
chilling.
the other guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll sell them stuff or whatever, or like,
Exactly. You could say you were involved, you helped, but you weren't like
exactly,
frontline shit. Like they can handle that. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
potion seller at best.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person I've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question.
Mm.
What is your favorite color?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Red.
Red. Do you have a specific
Uh,
shade?
not not really. I feel like I should probably do more like in-depth research to what my favorite shade is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I like red in pretty much every kind of like tone, more or less.
Yeah.
As just like a spectrum, red is kind of like where I exist, I think.
Yeah.
And just generally in like warm colors and stuff like that.
Hell yeah. I love it. Well, as I said, that is all the questions I have for you today. Is there anything you would like to plug?
No, I don't think other than, just the record coming out, November 28th, Black Friday. So, uh, yeah, that's really it.
Damn straight. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. This has been Tyler from Excide, and I've been the Good Noise Podcast.